Okay, welcome back. Now, before we begin, I do apologize for dropping in with a stream just like that. So, I'm still sick. I've been sick for the past 3 days. It's nothing special. It's not that what you think it is. So, I have a bit harder time to speak, and that's why I wasn't actually uploading a lot of videos. So, I decided to go live here because there is a lot of things which were covered yesterday, including the transcript from the actual telecall with the investors and journalists and all of that, which we have to go through to kind of, see everything and basically see what CDPR is exactly planning with all of these projects. Now, hopefully, all of you can hear me well. Hopefully, we don't have any problems with audio or anything like that. Oh, you can hear me, nice, this is amazing. So last time when I went live, we actually had a problem where my voice just wasn't going and it was frustrating. So, welcome everyone, thank you for coming to the stream. Again, I'm not sure how long will the stream last, but I'll give my best so we can go through everything. So, how is everyone going and, doing today? Because it's what, Wednesday today? So it's the middle of a week. Probably not that fun because it's we're still not close to the weekend, but it's gonna be good. So audio is good. All right, I'm also going to put in some music in the back. So you have to tell me because I cannot monitor the sound that well. You tell me if this music which plays, if you can hear it, is it loud, is it low? Just let me know about the music and I'll just actually just increase the volume if it's too loud. But it shouldn't be too loud. Actually, I think it should be low, but I don't know. So, how is everyone doing today? Thank you for Fonfra, thank you. Boos, what's up? Waylander, thank you. Grape, what's up? Pratik, hello. Yernax, hello. What's up, what's up? Yeah, yesterday was wild. Honestly, the only thing I was expecting from them yesterday was just to say, okay, so the next gen edition of The Witcher is coming out in 4th quarter. And that's it, we have Cyberpunk expansion, but what CDPR does, they come out and they're like, well, we have not one, not two, but 3 Witcher games. By the way, we're also doing a Cyberpunk sequel, it's going to have multiplayer, and oh, by the way, we're opening up a new studio in North America. I was not expecting that at all. So, there is a lot that was covered actually after that. There was the call with basically the investors, the journalists, and just the different people from the industry that was more, oriented towards investors themselves. But they did talk a lot about what can we expect and what not to expect. Obviously, release dates and the new info wasn't shared. But yeah. Berat, thank you so much. I will get better. I mean, I'm better right now. I'm at like 80% strength. I mean, I think tomorrow is gonna be fine. Now, I actually wanted to do a video today, but I figured like doing a stream, it's gonna be much easier than doing anything else. So one thing we can do first is I can go and actually look at let me just go here. Let me see what can I go first. So there's videos that they actually released, which you can check out on CD Projekt Investors Relations YouTube channel, so you can go and do that. But one thing I want to focus on first is we're gonna go and look at this presentation one more time. So let me just switcheroo this thing. Now, do keep in mind, if the camera freezes by any chance, just let me know and I'll fix it. This is the camera freezing is a problem with. Actually, let me just see here. I'm kind of lost. Okay, here we go. So I cannot see you guys now. Wait. Okay, this should be good. I can see the chat, and we are good. Nice. I look good considering that's just Tylenol and heavy paracetamol still keeping me up. But in like an hour, I'm just gonna go down. So that's not good. Yesterday was unexpected. Yeah. Kostas, what's up, my friend? I just got into Cyberpunk and I'm a huge Witcher fan, so I'm hyped. Oh, you just got into Cyberpunk, man. I wish I can, delete everything I know from The Witcher and Cyberpunk and just, do it again from the beginning like it was the first time, because especially The Witcher, like The Witcher 3 was phenomenal. Like when it came out, I played it the moment it came out. I was just waiting for that release patch and I just got in. Actually, I think I actually think I got into a Witcher even earlier because I do believe there was a way to VPN yourself to Australia or something like that, and you were able to just play earlier like it was. I did that, I believe, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, I don't remember, but yeah. Air hypo. Yeah, I don't know. Hey Tron, what's up? So, let's get down to the business, shall we? So this is the actual like presentation they had yesterday. If you missed this, I'm just gonna go quickly through everything. So what's ultimately happening is that their core studios are going to be CD Projekt Red and the Molasses Flood. So the Molasses Flood, as I said before, is gonna be working on the single player / multiplayer Witcher game, or well, set in the Witcher universe. And the supportive ones are going to be GOG and Spoko. Now, actually there was nothing from Spoko, but I did actually hear like on the previous investors call that Spoko could be working on something new, but we shall see if that's going to actually pan out. So they also had, you know, our purpose: we create revolutionary role-playing games with memorable stories that inspire gamers, blah blah blah, the usual. And then we go to copies. So Cyberpunk, as we did learn like a few days before, it did cross 20 million copies, and the entire Witcher franchise sold 65 plus million copies themselves, which is insane. Music is a bit loud, really? No, I mean, I can lower it. Just give me a sec. I can lower it a bit if the music is too loud. That's not a problem. Brockfang, hey man. Let me just get this down. I don't get it. They said all 3 games will be developed within 6 years following Polaris release, so is Polaris not counted as trilogy? We'll get to it. There is actually a full transcript where they go into that, so we'll get into it. After that, they went into strategy updates since Q1 2021, because if you do remember, they switched to the agile work environment back then when they said they're gonna be doing this whole CD Projekt Red 2.0 thing. So they said these things: further developing a healthy and sustainable work environment, rolling out agile ways of working, introducing a new game engine, that being Unreal Engine 5. People asked me, is this a new Red Engine? No, this is basically Red Engine 5, but they just mention it as a new game engine, which is kinda funny. Scaling up our talent pool with 2 acquisitions in North America, cool. Strengthening the board by adding CTO and CMO. So if you do remember, during the development of Cyberpunk 2077, I believe that CTO left the company like mid-development or something like that. So they were not doing good on that part, as we could have seen, but luckily that was fixed. And just leaving Red Engine and having, you know, going into Unreal Engine 5, where you can have a lot more freedom to develop the game because you don't have to develop the engine and the game at the same time. That can be problematic. So now they can focus on more stuff, which makes sense, definitely. How cautious are you going to be considering 2077's release? But of course, I'm going to be very cautious. So the thing with CD Projekt right now, in my opinion, is that, and Miles Tost actually talked about it on Twitter this morning about the changes in the company, because he gets asked if changes were actually made. Sorry, not Miles Tost, but Philip. I think Philip talked about it. Maybe. Yeah, Philip talked about it. And he said that the company did make progress on that part, and right now, you know, they have a better and healthier work environment, which is nice to hear, because ultimately we want that. We want a better work environment. So hopefully that's going to continue later on, because right now they're going to be developing a lot of games, and if they can organize well, this is good. Is the stream still good? By the way, I think it should be good. Zopter, what's up, my friend? Cannot wait for the next Witcher. Yeah, well, obviously that's gonna be fun, because The Witcher is gonna be one of the first games we're gonna be getting, so I'm kinda happy about that. So after that, they said expanding franchises through exploration of new fields and mediums. This includes films, anime, TV series, whatever, and we're gonna talk about that soon. and further supporting 2077 by adding substantial updates, and it's a new gen version that has been done. And also, well, obviously Cyberpunk Edge Runners was also done from this strategy. And here they have parallel AAA development, which started in 2022, so The Witcher and Cyberpunk. Now here, I think we went through this, like, you know, expand enduring franchises, introduce multiplayer experiences. We're gonna talk about that as well. So this is what they have for ESG ambitions. Provoke reflection through memorable stories, be company people want to be a part of, continue the green transformation of our campus and beyond, build relationships based on trust and transparency. I think this is important, and I think if this goes on the way it is, I mean, all of the problems from before are going to be gone, but if it continues this way. And use our resources and competencies to support others. Nice. Now, when it comes to this thing, spinning up the franchise flywheels. So look at this. The biggest part of this is video games. Then they have TV and film, mobile games, books, comics, partnership, merchandise. As we've seen with Cyberpunk Edge Runners, if you pull off an anime, which is good, and it attracts a lot of people and a lot of people watch it, you're going to get two types of people. People who have already played the game, who are now hyped to go back into the game, and people who just want to buy the game, you know, for the first time because they saw the anime or maybe they saw the hype. So ultimately, this is going to fund you everything else, where the game is going to be played based on the anime, and the anime is going to be watched based on the game and the support of the IP itself, which you have been marketing for, you know, years before the game came out, and you spent millions and millions of dollars. And then on top of that, you're going to push it with merchandise and all of that, which, you know, is kind of the thing in today's video games industry, where if you want to make or, well, maximize the money your company is going to generate, you're going to be going into franchising. I mean, how do you think Disney makes money? Toys, merchandise. That's the biggest thing. Yesterday was a big step in transparency. Yeah, I agree. Especially because they wrote, okay, this is going to be single player, blah, 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 blah. This is going to be multiplayer, blah, blah, blah. You know, just they said that, and that's good. I mean, the thing is that all of that is still far away. Very much far away. Stream's alright. Nice, nice, nice. So, next thing. License out non-core products. So this is going to be like the usual thing they've been doing, like licensing out, you know, franchise thingies like statues, whatever. That's something you already know about, just the usual thing. And now we're getting to the actual projects. So the first one that we know about is Phantom Liberty. It's in the final production stage, which again doesn't mean it's coming out soon. They said 2023 here. Initially, the plan was in the first quarter of 2023, I believe, so I hope that the first quarter is still going to stay. If not, then it's going to be delayed. When will be the Witcher 3 next gen date? I think that stays for the fourth quarter, because it was repeated multiple times up until this point that the Witcher 3 next gen update is coming out in the fourth quarter of 2022, so because they haven't said anything right now, I'm guessing that the release date is going to be, as I presume, December, but that's still speculation. But December feels like maybe a good time to release. And on top of that, you have the Blood Origins Netflix show coming out, which I'm gonna admit I'm not particularly interested in, but I think they're going to use that too to kind of cross-promote these two things. Could be. Hey Sebastian, what's up? Bartosz, what's up? Pipo, what's up, man? Still waiting on a Judy Dark Horse figure? Oh yeah. Yeah. The only like figure which I really want is that initial Cyberpunk 2077 from the first trailer, basically. That figurine that you had, like with the mantis blades. That's what I want. That thing is very rare, and you only got it if you attended, I believe, the 2018 E3, and if you're actually on the presentation itself, you got that action figure. But yeah, I'm sure there's a way on CDPR's page that talks about next gen, but no release date. Yeah, there is actually a website where they talk about. Will you play Witcher 3 on next gen? Yeah, I'll be testing out, like, I'll be covering The Witcher 3 extensively when it comes out. I'm gonna play it on both PlayStation, which I'm gonna be testing it out there, and I'm also gonna be playing it on PC. So again, we're gonna be playing that, you know, enjoying that and so on. Actually, like, the next stream that I do, we're gonna be playing Cyberpunk 2077, which is going to be very soon. Like, I just need to get better. So when it comes to yeah, Melissa, yeah, Melissa's figure, without spoiling, because I don't know who actually, like, there's a lot of people on the channel who haven't played the game, so I don't want to go into any big spoilers or something like that. But yes, that figure, man, that figure is something that I've been chasing for years now, but no one wants to actually, like, give it. Maybe one day when I raid CDPR Studio. I'm kidding, I'm not gonna do that. So obviously Phantom Liberty, we know about that. Now let's talk about Project Sirius. So Project Sirius is basically coming from the Molasses Flood, and it's supported by CDPR, and there is currently 60 plus people involved. This is in still pre-production, so this is still not going to be coming out anytime soon. And this is going to be an innovative take on the Witcher universe, telling an unforgettable story for existing Witcher fans and new audiences. Now, this just tells me, when they say broader audience, it tells me that they're going to probably stick with the style that Molasses Flood had. So if you played any Molasses Flood game, like the Flame in the Flood and the Dark Hollow, you know, like, the style is going to be more cartoon-like, so it's not going to be a mature RPG, blood and gore kind of a thing. More, you know, kind of a teen stuff, you know. Yes, rated for everyone in a sense. But in that whole thing, I am thinking that maybe this is going to be some sort of a survival game, you know, single player / multiplayer co-op in the Witcher universe, which, I'm gonna be honest, if done well, I don't have anything against it, because I like survival building games in general. That's my jam. That's actually, like, the biggest games I play off the camera are basically survival building sort of a game. So if they do something similar to that and it's fun, I don't see a problem with it, because even later on I'm going to show you what they talked. This is actually going to be a bigger project than I imagine it's going to be, so they're thinking big with this one, and especially because it's still in pre-production. I actually thought that this is going to be in production still, but I was kind of getting ahead of myself. Let's see. Hey Nick, what's up? Hey David, what's up? I'm doing fine. I still a little bit sick, but I'm good. I'm sorry if I miss any comments. I'll go back to the comments. Next gen will come out around Blood Origin. Yeah, I kind of think the same. Let's see if I missed any comments. I need a real Yaiba. Yeah, they actually have one in the studio. I mean, it's a statue, but it's a big one. Wishlist Trauma Team DLC. Oh yeah, that would be cool. Wait, there's a comment which, how come the Maelstrom are so coherent and non-cyberpsychotic? They are implant crazy neo-religious. Yeah, you kind of said to yourself. Basically, they are. Every single Maelstrom member is on the verge of cyberpsychosis. That's their thing. Actually, they want to be cyberpsychos. They prefer to have metal over meat. That's their whole thing. Actually, I think that the Maelstrom kinda stay relatively sane is because they already have this mindset, oh, I'm going to be a cyber psycho. So I think that's what actually keeps them somewhat insane without going fully, you know, out of control. So yeah, that's true. Pavel Sasko is gonna be going to Boston CD Projekt Red. So Sasko is gonna be moving to North America, and there they're gonna be, I think he's going to bring also maybe, I don't know how many members from his team, but I'm sure he's not going to be going alone. And they're going to be, you know, establishing that new studio in North America, and they will be working on Cyberpunk sequel. So Sasko is going to be completely in on Cyberpunk. He's not going to be going into, I think, The Witcher, so that's going to be given to different people. I mean, he was great in The Witcher, don't get me wrong. He did some amazing quests there. Yeah, Sasko is really committed to Cyberpunk. Absolutely, absolutely. I wish next-gen Cyberpunk really utilizes different factions. They're so cool and well written. Yeah, I think the same, because when I look at Cyberpunk, and that's why I stayed with this game to this day, is because story characters Even though there are some issues with the story, you know, maybe it's too short, whatever, but the story that you have, the characters that you have are great. Technical side, obviously having the problems with the engine, game falling apart, yeah, that was also a part of the release. But I think for as long as the writing and characters are good, I think the future games are going to be safe, because when you lose that, when you lose well-written story and well-written characters, then you know it's not going to be the CDPR experience. But yeah, I'm glad that they're actually switching to Unreal Engine 5, because maintaining an engine and building an engine and making a game in that engine at the same time is it's a risky business, as we were able to see, obviously. Sasko worked on the Bloody Baron quest line. Oh yeah, Sasko has been a part of CD Projekt for a very long time, and he has a lot under his belt, a lot, definitely. So honestly, I'm really glad that Sasko is going to be that one who's gonna be going into North America, because if there is someone who's actually passionate when it comes to stories and video games and the thing he works on, yeah, that's gonna be Sasko. So nice. Hey Kairis, what's up? Hope you're doing well, LKM. They dropped a huge bomb on us yesterday. Yeah, yeah, there was a lot. Honestly, as I said, I was just expecting one news, and there they go with like everything. Man, YouTube keeps like flagging comments for some reason. I don't know why. Perhaps Gabe and Patrick Mill join Sasko since they're American. I mean, they can be American, doesn't mean they're gonna go, but who knows? I mean, who knows? Anything is possible. Like, I think right now we don't know exactly who's gonna be going like fully. We know a couple of people, but not everyone, and that's why next Cyberpunk game is gonna be coming in a long time, because there has to be a huge amount of time has to pass until you establish the studio, get the talent, get everything under control, and you start actively producing something. That's going to take some time. So Cyberpunk is not coming out anytime soon. Actually, there is something that Adam Kaczynski said, which we're gonna go through, which kind of had me okay, but he kind of said that the Witcher games are coming first and then Cyberpunk after. All of those 3 Witcher games, which I was like, okay, but we'll go through it later on, don't worry. Yeah, they're totally abandoning the Red Engine. And no, they're not going to be giving Red Engine out to people. They were asked that and they said no. I mean, when you invest millions in it, you're not just going to give it away for free. That's not how it goes. Yeah, Patrick is the lore specialist. He was the one who was going back and forth with Mike Pondsmith on Cyberpunk itself. Apart from Cyberpunk DLC, I really would like to see mod support. Yeah, I mean, they already implemented mod support for Cyberpunk itself. Actually, by the way, if you go to Nexus Mods, there is actually a mod, which I haven't tested yet, but it was like immersive experiences where you can now go into like different bars and you can actually like call in Judy, Panam, and you can have a drink with them. So that's the mod right now, which is trending on Nexus, but I haven't tested it yet, so I'll have to do that. 3 Witcher games in 6 years, think they said that, crazy. Yeah, that's also something we have to talk about, and also investors were talking about it. So let's go back to Project Sirius. So this, as I said, is probably going to be more light-hearted Witcher game, which is going to focus maybe on building and surviving. Again, I could be really wrong, but at least when it comes to the actual graphical style and just the animation, I think it's going to be more towards everyone, and rather than being a mature flipping heads off kind of a game, which The Witcher was, and Cyberpunk as well. So now Project Polaris is the Witcher game that we know about. So this is going to be the next game in the new Witcher trilogy that's going to start a new story. Who is it going to be? What is it going to be? We don't know yet. It could be pretty much everyone, but from this it does seem that this is going to be set after the events of The Witcher 3. So I don't think that this specific project is gonna be moving to like the prequels and all of that. So the current stage is pre-production, so we're still far away from this. Luckily they're working in Unreal Engine, which is going to allow them to have the game faster, because when you don't have to worry about the engine itself, when you have everything relatively at the ready. Obviously, you have to create some new solutions, and they have epic engineers on that. Then things are going to move much faster, hopefully without any problems. But they said multiple times, like Kaczynski said, like right now they decided to go with this approach to have so many games just because they were happy with how Unreal Engine was operating. And it's true, Unreal Engine is great. There is no denying that. Of course, a big company has to have a comprehensive plan for the future, but how realistic is that we can get it all here, and especially in what quality after the Cyberpunk 2077 disaster? So look, it's up to them to prove us when it comes out. I mean, I can say now, is it gonna be good? Is it gonna be bad? It's impossible to know. They have a lot here, definitely, but also keep in mind that all of these projects are not gonna be starting at the same time. Like, that's not going to be happening. So if they're able to organize their studios well, and if this comes out and it doesn't have problems, there you solved it. If it comes out with problems, well, you didn't solve it, simple as that. So right now it's just up to them to give us something which is going to be good at the end of the day, or well, not good, but just have a smooth release. Because for me, and like it always was, Cyberpunk is it's a good game, same as The Witcher 3, my favorite games. That's why I covered them. Axios, what's up? On one hand, I'm a bit worried that the writing would take a hit, but on the other hand, We 3, Thronebreaker, and 2077 were all released in 7 years, and all of those games have great writing. That's what I said. For as long as the writing and characters part is good, I mean, then they can fix the reputation and have their future games in Unreal Engine 5, which is going to give you that full, you know, give you that full spectrum of the game, like to give you everything that they wanted. In Red Engine, it was impossible. Like, the reason why you don't have a lot of things on last gen is because the moment you implement those things into PlayStation 4 and Xbox One version of the game, it's going to fall apart because Red Engine simply cannot do it, and at the same time PlayStation 4 and Xbox One are simply not strong enough. I mean, people say then, why should they release on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One? That's the thing, CDPR backed themselves into the corner of all corners. By the time they realized that Cyberpunk is not gonna be running well on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, it was too late, and you cannot like cut everything out and just drop last gen if you spent years developing it. So you're going to release it. Did it have problems? Yes, but if they haven't released it, there was no way they would return the money that they invested. So that's that corner they basically got themselves into. So that's why I hope that next time it's not going to happen. You have current gen PC, work on that. Simple as that. Am I Polish? No, I'm Bosnian. The announcement is actually more for investors. Yeah, I mean, the thing about these strategies, CDPR is a publicly traded company, so they have to put everything out to either attract investors, keep investors, and keep their market value at a normal rate by obviously providing what investors want to see, plans for the future. So now, when you have all of these things, it is more for the investors rather than for gamers, because they just go into more technical stuff. But at the same time, they're also using this to attract people who are going to talk about their company. This is also a part of the marketing strategy, to talk about all of these projects. That's why you had a lot of threads hype this event up before it was actually out. Simple as that. I hope CD knows where the money is. The money is in production such as The Witcher 3, satisfied client, and I believe they're wise people, so I am full of hope. I mean, we'll see. I mean, as I said, so far developers are happy in the state that companies, at least when they say personally with their experience. So if that, oh, there's vibe outside. So if they keep to that, and if it stays a healthy, normal work environment, then it's all fine, pretty much. Also attract new devs, absolutely. That's why actually Cyberpunk was announced all the way, you know, years after before it was released, just because they wanted to attract more developers. But it just it went on for so long that it honestly felt like Cyberpunk was in development for 20 years. It was that crazy. Do you think there is going to be another generation of consoles released in the future? imagine if the same thing happens with the next Cyberpunk game, where we are in the transitional period between PlayStation 6 or whatever it's going to be called and the next Xbox. And the game comes out and it's the same issue, and then a year after that we're going to stop supporting PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. I hope it's not going to be the same case, but that's a good question if PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S are going to be viable in the next 7-8 years. That's a good question, true. I never finished The Witcher. You should. You should. LKM, is there anything in the lore about an underground society in Cyberpunk living in the sewers? Maybe, but it's not. No, I don't think that. Maybe they talked about it in one of the books, because Cyberpunk tabletop RPG and the lore has 74 something books. So maybe in one of those books it was mentioned. In these cases, I would go and ask Mad Queen, but she's I don't know where she is right now. But yeah. Okay, so we covered. So Project Polaris, this is basically the beginning of a new Witcher trilogy. So this is going to be the flagship Witcher game. 150 plus people currently involved in this, and it's still in pre-production. And this thing, all three games aim to be delivered within a 6-year period following the Polaris release. This is going to be interesting, definitely. Now, next project. So Project Canis Majoris is going to be outsourced to a certain company that we don't know which company it is, but in this case, CD Projekt is going to act as a publisher, and in some cases they're gonna be acting as support when some things basically overlap with development. But this is going to be primarily a project done by someone else who has the same passion as Adam Kaczynski said. Now, which company is this going to be? I have no idea, but now this is interesting. So they say here, story-driven single-player open-world RPG set within the Witcher universe. That's fine. Now this is contracted to be developed by a third-party studio, which we know. It's led by ex-Witcher veterans. So maybe if someone wants to get to the bottom of this, you have to research people who worked on The Witcher and where are they right now. So we do know that a couple of high-profile Witcher developers who worked in CDPR are now out of the studio. Some of them have their own companies, and as far as we know, like I think the Dark Passenger is one of those companies or something like that. I have to go again through everything. They're gonna be working on their own games. So whatever this company is, it's helmed by someone we don't know who is it going to be. Because also keep in mind that a lot of like main Witcher developers are basically now in just different companies. One of them is actually now in Riot. I forgot his name because I'm under medication, but you'll know who it is. No, Rebel Wolves is not going to be that company, because Rebel Wolves is working on their own game. So no, not them. The Avengers Ensemble to make another Witcher game. I was thinking it might be so a lot of people think that this project, Canis Majoris, is going to be like the Witcher 1 remake. I honestly do not think that this is going to be a remake, because if they wanted to do a remake, they would already, I think, say it. We're doing a Witcher 1 remake, it's gonna be coming out in the future, who knows. This is, I believe, rather maybe a prequel to some, maybe a Vesemir story, whatever. But I doubt that this is going to be Witcher 1. If it somehow is, if somehow they teased us with this project name and it is the Witcher 1, it's still a big thing. But I don't know. They keep saying here like story-driven single-player game. There is no mention of like, oh, we're, you know, gonna remake the Witcher 1. I don't know. And the Witcher 1 is also not an open-world RPG. Technically, it's separated in different hubs. Because The Witcher 3 is actually the first open world Witcher game. Even The Witcher 2 was closed off between different levels. I mean, if they do like The Witcher 1 remake and it's an open world one, ooh, that's gonna be also great. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would love if this is a Witcher 1 remake, because for me Witcher 1 still has the best atmosphere out of any Witcher game. It's just, I don't know, it might be the graphics, it might be Aurora engine, but the actual atmosphere in The Witcher 1 is amazing for me. The camera stopped. Alright, let me just give me a sec. So what happens with the camera is that the NVIDIA program kinda dies out, so I have to restart the actual software in order to work. So it should be okay now. It should be okay. If it's not, just let me know. Yes, Mateusz Tomaskiewicz, thank you so much. So Mateusz Tomaskiewicz was one of the main people on The Witcher 3 and The Witcher in general, and now he's gonna be... Actually, that's why I'm kinda hyped for the new MMO done by Riot, just because they have Mateusz Tomaskiewicz working on it. I don't know, like, Riot themselves has amazing lore, a lot of characters, and a huge following. Actually, Riot has the same formula, or well, the same status that Blizzard had prior to World of Warcraft release, because keep in mind, the World of Warcraft was not only successful because it was World of Warcraft, but you already had a pre-established huge lore which was a part of this universe, and then you had people playing the original Warcraft games, so it was just like the perfect recipe. So Riot could be like maybe in a similar situation, but I'm going away from the topic. When The Witcher 3 Next Gen comes out, is it going to be free update for PC users? Yes, if you have The Witcher on any platform besides Switch, obviously, because Switch is not going to be getting a remake, you're going to get a free upgrade. So basically, if you have the PlayStation 4 version of The Witcher and you insert it into PlayStation 5, it's going to give you a free upgrade like it was with Cyberpunk 2077. Hey Arden, what's up? That's why I was thinking remake and not remaster. Yeah, I mean, remastering Witcher 1 doesn't make sense. If there is anything you're going to do with Witcher 1, you're going to remake it. You're not going to remaster it. It's Aurora engine, it's just too old to be remastered. In just, you know, graphically, I think Witcher needs a full overhaul, everything from ground up. So yeah, to go back, so Canis Majoris is gonna be outsourced to that studio, and what is it going to be, we don't know. Especially because I don't know is basically, so this is, I think, so Project Polaris is going to be single player. I wonder if Canis Majoris is also going to be something besides single player. Now obviously here they say single player, but I do wonder, like, is only this project when it comes to The Witcher have multiplayer, or maybe they're going to implement something in these two games, but because it says single player here, maybe not. Polaris also doesn't say anything about single player, but I'm sure it's not going to have it. So for now it seems that this is the only like single player slash multiplayer project that we have to think about when it comes to The Witcher. But we have the Project Orion. So Cyberpunk 2077 is going to, Project Orion is going to be Cyberpunk 2077 sequel that will prove the full power and the potential of the Cyberpunk universe. And yes, one thing that I do know is I'm sure 100% it's going to be Night City. They're not going to choose a different city. This is not GTA. In every part of tabletop RPG of Cyberpunk, it was always Night City. You have different cities, but they're not really that interesting for the lore perspective besides the Night City one. So I kind of don't see Cyberpunk moving away from Night City, but one thing that I hope is that the Badlands are going to be more utilized. I love the Badlands in Cyberpunk, but they're not really that utilized. You don't have that many things to do in Badlands, to be honest, besides like a couple of missions and gigs. Like, I wish there was more, like, you know, some maybe a city here and there you can kind of visit to trade with people. Like at the start of the Nomad introduction into the game, I wish there was a couple of quests in that area before we go into the Night City and meet with Jackie and everything. So that's kind of a thing which I want to see. Yeah, and I mean, it was always about Night City. Every single, like, 2020, 2045, 2077, it was never about anything else. They can always extend the city, but still, like, the Project Orion is going to be far away, and it's going to be done by the North American team, which we now know that Pavel Sasko is going to be going there. So here we see like kind of an overview of the company. So Vancouver Hub and Boston Hub are going to be the CD Projekt Red North America, and Molasses Flood is going to be next door to Boston Hub, or well, the Boston part of CD Projekt Red. So they're not going to be one company, they're going to be two companies, but they're actually next door to each other. So any Boston people here? You can go. I'm kidding, don't go. The Badlands weren't big enough. I mean, even the Badlands I think were okay in size, but you just had a lot of areas which were underutilized in my opinion. Which, if you utilize it right, you could have really like elevated the nomad path of the story, you know, kind of a thing in that way. The most casual sequel announcement I've seen company do. It was wild, like, oh yeah, like I was looking at the Cyberpunk Investors Relation Twitter, and they start off like with the slides, and they started off with this slide. I'm like, okay, so that's cool. And then they give you this slide over here. Oh, Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty, that's fine. Then they're like, hey, here's a Witcher game. I'm like, what? Hey, here's another Witcher game. Here is another Witcher game. And oh, by the way, Cyberpunk is getting a sequel. I'm like, what? So yeah, it was casual, but crazy. So the reason why I think that this Cyberpunk game is going to have multiplayer in it, or at least it's going to maybe have a co-op or something, is because of this slide. Because introducing multiplayer to most of our new games to enrich the single player experience. That kind of tells me that maybe there is going to be some sort of multiplayer in this. I'm not going to say yes, but it could be. And look, I know when you mention multiplayer, the first thing that you're going to say is, oh, microtransactions, predatory. And yes, like the companies of today, they literally made every mention of multiplayer to be predatory. But if it's utilized right, and if CDPR does things right way, it can be great for them. It can be amazing for them, because there is honestly nothing better than having a friend or something, and imagine you go through Night City, you do missions, you have fun, fight some enemies. It would be cool, I'm not gonna lie. It doesn't have to be like full multiplayer, whatever. It can just be co-op, where you can just hang out with your friends in Night City. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, co-op. So many games, so little time. Don't worry, you're gonna have enough time until this comes out. This is still far away. I'm gonna grow old. You're gonna grow old when this comes out. I can't really picture multiplayer in CDPR's games. Well, they had a test with Gwent, and it turned out to be fine. But of course, when it comes to their like flagship titles, it's gonna be interesting, because this is gonna be some of the first time that they do that. And I think the project series is going to be telling us a lot about that. So yeah, we covered basically a lot of here. So we're gonna get to Hadar. So they're gonna be building a new studio, as I said, Boston, Vancouver hub. They have the Warsaw one, Krakow, and Wrocław, and that's pretty much it when it comes to them. They're expanding like crazy. That's gonna be interesting to see if they are able to pay all of that. But in the transcript, they actually talked about safety nets when it comes to money. So it seems like things are good on that end. It seems that money is very much liquid. And now we arrive to the third IP, and this is the Project Hadar. So this is going to be a new IP, and it's gonna be distinct from like The Witcher and Cyberpunk. And when you tell me that it's gonna be, okay, so The Witcher is fantasy, Cyberpunk is cyberpunk. So not sci-fi, because Cyberpunk is a subgenre of sci-fi. What if it's modern times? Or something like that? Or past? But I don't know, whatever they do in this situation, so it's not gonna be fantasy, and it's not going to be cyberpunk. Are they going to do another sci-fi game? Maybe. Or maybe they're gonna be doing something more grounded. Now someone told me like maybe it's Hadar from D&D, but D&D is fantasy, so they're not going to be doing another fantasy game. I think that's not gonna be that. GTA Online is a zoo. Yes, it's a absolutely zoo. But you can also make it co-op if you go into friends only, and that's honestly what I enjoy the most. I'm never in free roam with other people. It's terrible, especially on PC. Like the amount of modders or cheater modders, it's rampant. It's impossible. And peer-to-peer servers, man, I'm gonna be going into friends only. There is also horror. You know, having a horror game would be nice from CD Projekt, but what is it going to be like? It's just impossible to know right now. So this is going to be fully developed IP. It's not going to be licensed. So whatever it is, it's coming from their mind. It's gonna be original. And right now is in a conceptual phase. And I do wonder if this strike theme has to do anything with teasing stuff, or maybe just strike theme for the lols. It was written like that, but this is gonna take a long time before we see anything related to Hadar. And we can think about Cyberpunk and the rest before we can even remotely think about this project over here. So the long term, pretty much that we know: Sirius, The Witcher Trilogy, Canis Majoris, Phantom Liberty, Orion, and Hadar. Multiplayer here, they're gonna be expanding into TV and film, we know that, and Edgerunners basically, as they say here, is a fine example of achieving the transmedia synergy. So what does this tell you? More stuff, definitely. So for as long as the quality is maintained like it was with Trigger and them, it's gonna be fine, honestly. That's good. Is the audio still going? Yeah. To the Rebel path right now. Good. Now, here we have some explanations. Here they have like the when it was founded, blah blah blah. This is the stuff that we already know. I do want to go here. So for all of these projects over here, so starting with Project Sirius, this is going to start with Unreal Engine 5. So everything here, every project here besides Phantom Liberty and obviously the next gen upgrade for The Witcher 3 is gonna be going into Unreal Engine 5, and that's why I think they're gonna be using a lot of similar solutions between like the projects in the same engine, and that's why I think they can develop so many games at the same time without burning completely out. But before we go into transcript, I do want to read comments a little bit. Hadar may be a space or something. I'm gonna be honest, it could be, but I wouldn't like another sci-fi game. I don't know. I wish for CDPR to try out something different. I mean, it's like a story as old as time. Every single company, oh, we're gonna be going into sci-fi opera. I'm not a maybe, but if it's done well, I don't know. Hey Greg of Rivia, what's up, my friend? I hope they do another season of Edgerunners with new characters. Honestly, I would love if somehow they kind of pull off like a season 2 of Edgerunners with different characters. It would be cool if it was done in that way. Or maybe they're just, you know, gonna go and do something completely different. But at least when it comes to the story of David and the rest, that's just a 10 off series, and that's it. Wow, you don't have to apologize, Greg, don't worry. There is actually gonna be a replay later on if you miss something. They might create a base for each game like Ubisoft did. Let me just switch to... Nah, I'm not gonna switch yet. Maybe. I mean, if like live action stuff is good, but keep in mind that a company like CD Projekt is not gonna be doing live action unless they have some insane producer. Live action costs money. Live action Cyberpunk, where everything around you has to be CGI. You have to make sets for that. It's expensive. So I'm not seeing like CDPR going into live action just like that, because it's the most expensive form of media unless you're Disney and you're spending hundreds of millions on animation. Yeah. Cyberpunk anime, Cyberpunk Netrunners. Honestly, I would love if we had a Cyberpunk anime about Rage Bartmos or maybe Morgan Blackhand or something like that. That would be cool. I really hope nobody tries to emulate Ubisoft. What if Hadar is steampunk? I don't know, it's all too similar. Maybe, but I don't know, for me I would love them for Hadar to be something completely different, like something that not even our wildest imagination can think about. That's what I want. But Steampunk is cool, don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, Dishonored, basically. Dishonored is an amazing game set in Steampunk. But, I don't know. Hadar is a game dev simulator. Yeah, you're gonna be making Cyberpunk in that game. Only a decade ago, every company wanted to mirror Modern Warfare. Oh yeah, I remember those days. I remember when Modern Warfare came out, that was wild. But that was a good game, like, I spent countless nights playing it. Cyberpunk? How are they gonna call the next Cyberpunk game? So, they said sequel. So, I'm guessing it's gonna be after, well, obviously 2077. I do wonder if they're just gonna go like 2078 or maybe 2090 or something like that. I mean, how far can you go? Pretty much. I mean, post-apocalyptic, who knows? Oh yeah, Warhammer 40k. If it was licensed, I would have maybe had some assumptions, but as they said, like, the IP is basically inside of CD Projekt, so they're not gonna license anything. That's gonna be their thing. Cyberpunk 77 too. No updates on the next gen update for The Witcher 3, but they did basically confirm it's coming out in the 4th quarter of 2022, so that plan stays until now. Obviously plans can change, but so far that plan is still there. They still haven't talked about it because I think for The Witcher they are going to do like the Night City Wire, like they did for Cyberpunk. So they're gonna talk about what the changes were, what they implemented into the game. For me, it's kind of the most logical form of marketing that. The only reason why I thought that they're going to talk about, you know, the next gen upgrade, because I had no idea they're going to announce like 6 games. So that was unexpected. Cyberpunk 2077 Part 2. One thing I do kind of think is that I don't think the sequel is going to have V or anything connected to V. Maybe we meet some characters from before, but I don't think it's gonna be V at all. I mean, when it comes to The Witcher, no details, nothing. Besides the image that we've seen, no details. So there's a few things that I want to talk about as well. It's actually the transcripts from the call, and there's a few things they talk about here. So the first question was, good evening guys, blah blah blah. So the first question was when we might see Polaris, and they basically said they're not ready to share anything for the time being. So my assumption is that we're gonna be getting this thing maybe later on, like in the next 2 years we're gonna get that info, because we're gonna be preoccupied first off with, I believe, the Phantom Liberty, and then my gut tells me the Molasses Flood game could be the one after that. But there is one thing which Adam Kaczynski says at the end of this, which I think for me is the most important. So they asked if these projects presented here are more or less in a chronological order, and they said no, they are not in a chronological order. So what we've seen in this strategy update, this doesn't mean anything like how they put it here, so not like I initially assumed. I do apologize, my throat still hurts because I'm sick, so I'm having a very hard time speaking. That's why I'm not gonna be going on for too long, because I'm getting tired, and I will stream more, but as soon as I get better. So this is what they said. We said we have 3 games in our pipeline, which means that the first 3 games to be released, but not necessarily in that order, are Polaris, Sirius, and Canis Majoris. This is the only sneak peek into our order. These 3 will come first, without saying which one of them will be first, second, and third. I kinda assume the Molasses Flood game is gonna be first. I could be wrong, but it just makes the more sense, in my opinion, but we'll see. And on the rest, we're not guiding. So with Adam Kaczynski, it seems like we're gonna have 3 Witcher games, and then after these 3 Witcher games, we are going to have Cyberpunk. That's a very long time. That's a very long time, fellas, because it's gonna take years until these 3 games come out, like the Witcher ones. So the Cyberpunk one, oh boy, that's gonna be a very, very long time until we see it. Now, one thing which I'm kind of surprised about is that they're not gonna be refreshing like this lineup with Cyberpunk, because I thought, alright, you're going to have project the series first, and then you're going to go with Polaris, and then you're going to go with Orion, and then Canis Majoris. No. They're gonna have Witcher and then Cyberpunk. Cool, but fine. I don't know, you tell me. Lazy way out using Unreal Engine. The only reason why you say that is because you have no idea how game development works. If you knew 1% of how game development work, you wouldn't say that it's a lazy way out. So yeah, I'm just gonna say that you have no idea how game development works if you think that that's the lazy way out. It's almost like you start Unreal Engine 5, you click build, and there we go, you have your game. You export it, put it on Steam, and that's it. That's not how it goes. Absolutely not. Like, Unreal Engine 5 is good, but it doesn't come without its issues. It doesn't go that way. And doesn't matter which engine you're gonna be working on, game development, especially on this level, is never easy. Never. Yeah. I hate this term lazy, man. It's like, what do you expect people to work 24/7? Like, do you want people to work in an engine which is causing issues so they can prove something? I don't know. Unreal Engine, anyone in their mom's garage can make a game. It's nothing special. All right, listen, I'm gonna ban you just because you're stupid and you are a brick wall. And I hate people who already made up their mind in what they think, and they're not willing to listen to any other argument or logic. So that's pretty much it. You're gone. See ya. Yeah, it's anyone's in their mom's garage can make a game with already pre-established assets that they download from Marketplace, and they can create an unfinished game. That's not how it goes. Etc. Control C, Control V, AAA game. It's so funny, man. I don't know. Like, these people, like, they make me laugh. Because, I don't know. It's always in game development. Because I've been in film production. And you never actually see people pushing, like, oh, Avengers has to come out in the next 6 months. Like, it's not how it goes. All of those things take a long time. All right, let's get done with this guy. Who cares? Who cares? Let him think that it's easy to create video games. Why? Listen, if it's so easy, you go and do it, my friend. I'll play your game. If you're gonna be creating a AAA title in your mom's garage, I'll play it if it's good. But you won't. Now, there has been some questions from investors where they talk about money. Because whenever you're gonna be creating so many projects and expanding your studio in North America and building a new studio, they were asked if they're gonna have money. So they said here, yes. So it does seem that the money they've made from Cyberpunk and The Witcher so far has been good. I was initially a little bit worried on how the cash flow is gonna be in this company because, I'm sorry, Witcher was selling like crazy. Cyberpunk is also selling pretty well. I mean, 20+ million copies, that's a big thing. You already made your money back, you earned profit, but I was a little bit scared it's not going to be the case, but luckily I was proven wrong, and luckily they have money for this. But I hope that this whole vision that Adam Kaczynski and his team have, this whole thing about, oh, we want to have some insane titles, I hope it doesn't backfire again. Whenever you're trying to create something which is going to be revolutionary or big or something which goes up to your standards, there is a high chance some problems can happen. So I hope that they're not going to happen again, and ultimately it's going to be good first for the devs and then for everyone. And if they continue with this path that they have right now, I think that's going to be fine. I think personally things are gonna be fine if they continue this way. So far it's good, but you know, at the end of the day, it's the product which is going to tell us yes or no. Words are words, actions speak louder than words. Yeah. Do I think the Molasses Flood game may have been may be released next year? I honestly do think. Initially I thought that maybe Molasses Flood is going to be released in 2022, but because Adam Kaczynski said that this Molasses Flood game is going to be actually bigger. I'm so sorry about my voice. So because Adam Kaczynski said that they don't want to cut corners with the Molasses Flood game, it does seem that it's going to be relatively big. It's not going to be AAA kind of a thing, but it's not going to be also a small game that people thought it's going to be. And something which has been said, let me just find it, not here, not mobile, wait, mobile, this right here. Project Sirius is not a mobile game. Thank you. So people have been asking if maybe this is gonna have something with mobile. No. When it comes to mobile, they have Spoko, which is currently, I think, working on something. I might be wrong on that. And these games are not coming to mobile. They're gonna be PC, PlayStation, and Xbox, pretty much. And also, there is Stadia, but yeah, that's not gonna be the thing. But yeah, that's when it comes to this. Let me just go back to the cam a little bit before we continue, and I can read some of your comments. Let me just see. Is the Molasses the new IP? The Molasses Flood is a studio, an event also in Boston, but a studio that they bought. And actually, you can go and play their games right now. You can play The Flame in the Flood and Drake Hollow. Those are actually, I played The Flame in the Flood when it came out. I think I covered it even on this channel initially. Like, it was a very like cozy, nice game. Drake Hollow, I didn't play that so much. Oh yeah, also, so the thing with CD Projekt, there was also a change in the studio. Let me just see where did they actually post that. Just give me a sec. I'm sorry for doing it this way. CD Projekt Red. Let me just find it. Okay, so yeah, Marcin Nowinski is stepping down as a joint he's stepping down from a CEO or the board of directors role in the company. So an end of an era. If you do know, Marcin Nowinski is actually a person who has been in CD Projekt Red since the beginning, or well, he was in the board of directors. He was there when The Witcher came, he was there when Cyberpunk came. Every single time when you had anything on E3, he was there to be the face of the company. He was also, sadly, the one who took the blame for everything which happened with Cyberpunk 2077. And this is definitely an end of an era that Marcin Nowinski is going to have this change. So that's what also happened. Cyberpunk music is god tier. Oh yeah. Yeah, so the Molasses Flood studio and the Boston hub of CD Projekt Red are actually going to be next door. This is confirmed by Adam Kaczynski. They're gonna be working on separate things, but they're actually next door to each other as a studio. So when it comes to this whole Molasses Flood Witcher game, if it's going to be multiplayer in one sense and single player in another, I do hope that it's going to be receiving updates so that people go back to it, because when it comes to multiplayer games in general, if you have content, your game is going to be played. If you don't have content, the game dies out. Now, of course, that is, well, it's going to be different depending on the formula of the game. If the formula of the game doesn't require constant updates, then it's going to be fine. If it does, we'll see. But because this is also like a single player thing, not fully multiplayer, keep in mind, we don't have a full multiplayer game announced. All of these things are going to be single player with multiplayer. Or well, not all of the projects, but majority of the projects. It's like Todd Howard leaving Bethesda. Yeah, like people, like especially people who are new to CD Projekt, they don't. It's basically like you had Todd Howard leave Bethesda. He was like, Marcin is the face of the company every single time. Thoughts on chances for a second expansion? Zero. Like, there isn't going to be a second expansion, and the reason for that is not because CDPR doesn't want to do it, is because they really want to leave Red Engine. They really want to leave Red Engine behind. It's causing issues and they're not going to be returning to it. That's why they want this, and they want to continue to work on everything else. But of course, this is not all bad. If the next Cyberpunk game becomes this Cyberpunk game which is going to prove to everyone the power of this franchise, then we can expect many more things. But until that happens, we are kinda done with Cyberpunk. I mean, there is going to be the expansion, and that's going to keep us, you know, for a long time, because it's going to be relatively big. But after that, it's only gonna be The Witcher, which on one side, like, look, I love Cyberpunk. I love covering Cyberpunk. I will always cover Cyberpunk, but Witcher is home. And I'm kinda glad that I'm also gonna be returning to The Witcher, because this channel wouldn't be here if there wasn't for The Witcher, pretty much. And basically they need as many people as they can right now. Just that. Let me just, give me a sec. I need to blow my nose. Okay, sorry for this. So yeah, I mean, it's all down to Red Engine. If Red Engine wasn't causing this amount of issues, I'm sure we would see the second expansion. But this is this hard decision they had to make. Like, they had to just leave it behind if they want to focus on this. And honestly, it's a hard decision, and maybe some people don't agree with it, but I think it's fine. I honestly think that this decision of leaving Red Engine finally is good, because if it's ultimately going to help developers, I don't see a problem with it. Yeah, so when it comes to microtransactions, whenever you hear multiplayer, you kind of think of microtransactions. Honestly, if they implement microtransactions, and if those microtransactions are only of a cosmetic nature, because if it's a fully multiplayer game, you need to run servers somehow. It's just how it is, you have to pay for them. For as long as those microtransactions are only of a cosmetic nature and not predatory, or you know how it is today, like they give you paid cosmetics which are 10 times better than the base game ones. If it's only just cosmetics, I'm gonna be fine. If it's anything else, I'm going to give CDPR the same treatment I give to any other company which does that, and that's that I don't like it, and it's stupid, and it's bad. Simple as that. Like what Blizzard did with Diablo Immortal, or Diablo Immortal, and hopefully, which is not something which they're going to do with Diablo 4, that's something I don't want CDPR to become. If CDPR becomes that, then bad. If it doesn't, good. But hopefully they have learned that you can make money without being too predatory, because at the end of the day you can generate huge profits like Blizzard does with their microtransactions. It happens, but how long is that gonna take? Not too long. Will this be uploaded? So as soon as this live is done, it usually takes like 10 minutes, and YouTube is just going to put this out as a video. So yes, there is going to be a full VOD. Gwent has microtransactions since day one. Yeah, Gwent was with microtransactions from day one, and so far as what people have been saying, what I noticed, but keep in mind I don't play Gwent all that much, it does seem that Gwent is not predatory, because you can get all of those cards without paying money, and you can get them with paying money. So I mean, how much does it help you? I really don't know. Maybe there is someone who plays Gwent more who can answer that question when you see it. Microtransactions are not bad. The exploitative psychological tricks are. Yeah, basically, like if I'm like, that's the thing, if I'm playing a multiplayer game and if there is a battle pass and if I'm playing that game for a very long time and I'm investing too much time into it and I'm gonna buy a skin or two sometimes, like I'm gonna give you 10 bucks for this every few months just to support the game. If I like the development, I don't see a problem with giving 10-20 bucks now and then. The problem I have is when it goes into, you have to pay tens of thousands of dollars. Did you see like how much money did people spend in Diablo Immortal? Hundreds of thousands of dollars. I like, what? Like when I've seen like one guy spent $100,000 on a video game, dude. On a video game, like what? It's crazy. Cyberpunk upgrade or a new game? I think like, yeah, Cyberpunk sequel is gonna be a totally different game. But what I think they're going to do is they're going to just simply like upgrade Night City with the expansion, because expansion is going to take place in the unexplored part of Pacifica and Biotechnica Flats, I believe, in some areas. And maybe they're gonna be adding some new things around the map as well. I do obviously think that Night City is also going to maybe see some changes. Maybe like some things here and there we can immerse ourselves into, like something that we wanted from like the outside, the open world segment of Night City, to be able to sit, drink and all of that. And I'm still saying those things are missing. Like if you had an ability to go into a backpack, you take a drink, you take something to eat, and you see this full animation, I think that justifies this first person even more, in my opinion. Whales, yeah. I know people who spend $500,000. Why would you spend $500,000? And it's not even a good game. Like, it's a decent game. Like Diablo Immortal, like I reached the full level. I think a few paragons as well. It was a decent mobile game. But to spend money on it, psh, man, don't even make me laugh. 150,000 for max level. And you know what's the funniest thing? Because those games are made for whales. Those games are made so you have people who are going to spend that much. When you think they care about you because you spend 10-15 bucks, no. You're not their primary audience. The guy who spends $500,000, that's their audience. You basically have a few. The only thing with Diablo Immortal is you have a few people funding the actual development. Everyone else is basically throwing a cup of water into an ocean. That's what it is. That's also an interesting question from the Hollow Hunter. Cyberpunk sequel, first person or third person or both? Now actually I did a poll on my channel. Let me just go and do it. So the poll was done yesterday. There is 5.6 thousand votes on it. And I asked if you think that Cyberpunk sequel is going to be first person, third person or both. 42% people said first person. 9% people said third person, which is okay, 9%. And 49% said both. Like, look. If Cyberpunk sequel is also again in first person, I'm not going to have a problem with that because I really enjoyed Cyberpunk 2077 first person. I enjoyed dialogue done in that. I enjoyed experiencing the world in first person. But if there is maybe an option, at least maybe in just free roam or whatever, to have some sort of a third person, that's also something I'm not going to be against, because there is a lot of people who have transmog and they just want to see their character. And you have people who want to also play in third person. So maybe if now they go that way, it would be cool. If not, we shall see. But I'm not like, I don't think they're going to go fully into third person. I think that the Cyberpunk sequel is either going to be first person or both. I don't think it's going to be exclusively third person. Maybe. That's just my opinion. Thoughts on the possibility of additional endings for Cyberpunk 2077 opening as a result of playing through Phantom Liberty? That's also interesting. I don't know how they're going to handle that, because it does seem like, I don't know. Like, especially when it comes to changing an ending, or if you have like the expansion which now expands the story, I don't know. I don't think they're gonna be touching the regular endings. I think it's gonna be something similar to The Witcher, because the only time you actually see like the results of your actions is in the second Witcher expansion, Blood and Wine. In the first one, you don't really hear a lot of things. Actually, even if you finished like if you finished The Witcher 3 and you went through the first expansion, at the end he like Gontarodim asked you if you want to know about Ciri, and at that point in story I'm like, I already finished it. So maybe they do something similar to it, where the expansion is gonna be like set in between or relatively after the story. Who knows? But I don't know. It's still kind of too far away to think about it, but whatever it is, I hope it's going to be substantial. And so far, what they talked about, it seems it is. Now they keep mentioning 2023 without the actual release date, so that has me worried if maybe they delayed it to like second quarter of 2022. Imagine if that happens. We'll see. First person combat, third person exploring. I mean, you also have people who don't want to mix. You have people who want like first person only, or if I'm in third person I want to shoot from third person, I want to do everything. Like you have people who, like for example, Deus Ex. Deus Ex is a combination of like first person and third person. Once you go into a cover, the game switches into third person. Maybe, but I don't see Cyberpunk doing that. I would rather see them doing everything in first person, third person, or just first person. Again. Maybe. Nusa invades ending. That's also like, if they're gonna be changing the story that much, like that's also interesting, because Night City was always a free city. So to have new United States government retake Night City, that would be... Ooh, that would be the first time that happens in years. Like before, like the last time that United States tried to do that, and then you had basically Arasaka come up with their huge carrier on a boat, and they were like, no, you're not going to invade, and new United States backed out from that. Like, it has to be interesting, like who's going to be the counterbalance to the expansion, because on one side you have new United States government, you have Militech. So who's going to be on another? There has to be some faction which is gonna be fighting against new United States government. I have a theory, which it might be just a theory at this point, is maybe Night Corp is gonna be the one who's gonna be maybe telling you to fight United States government or something like that, because if there is one corporation which I think loves Night City, it's going to be Night Corp, but that's just speculation, pretty much. I only ever played Elder Scrolls in first person, honestly the same. I also didn't play Elder Scrolls in third person. I didn't enjoy it. Although, if you install mods, that's a different story, because some Skyrim combat mods, they make fighting in third person really enjoyable. Babylonia Rising, hey, it's a new member. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you for the support. Welcome to the channel, my friend. A KGB, maybe. Yeah. Is Militech an independent company? So Militech has been nationalized by Elizabeth Kress, or I don't know if it was done by the new president Elizabeth Myers or Kress, or Rosalind Myers or Elizabeth Kress. But basically Militech has been nationalized, and Militech has always been working very closely with the new United States government. Both previous CEOs and the current CEO of Militech are both ex-government employees. So, both presidents of the new United States government are all from Militech. So when you have this connection, it's insane. It's honestly like, it's almost like Militech is a part of the federal government. Meanwhile, Arasaka is going to be independent. Arasaka is going to be doing their own thing. It's Saburo, so they're tied more to Japan and to Japan imperialistic theory. I mean, basically, Saburo is a Japanese imperialist. That's his story. That's what he wants to do. He uses Arasaka to be an imperialist. That's his thing. Hey, Dwayne, what's up, my friend? Oh, you're new to the channel. What's up? What's up? Welcome. Imagine there's two endings, the Phantom Liberty, one where the United States invades and one where they don't. Then we can import our save in the sequel. Oh man, like that's cool, but I wonder how much time does it take to do something like that, to program something like that, to have like a city change, like a whole city change based on your previous decisions. I mean, it would be cool, but probably difficult to make. I mean, I'm not a dev, but that would be kind of difficult. Would people like first person in a Witcher game? No. No. No, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of first person melee. I'm not. Like it's okay. It's okay. I don't have a problem. I play Mordhau and the what's the name of that? Crusader Kings? Not Crusader Kings, it's Crusader Kings is a strategy. Chivalry. So I play Chivalry and all of that, but I don't like melee in first person. I never did and I never will. I like melee in third person. I like to see those animations. I'm just like that. Which corpos are the best? Worst in my opinion? There isn't a good corporation. Like every single corporation in Night City is basically the same. They want the biggest market capital. They want to rule the world. There is no good corporation in Cyberpunk. Simple as that. They all have their interests, and if their interest means they're going to destroy half a world, they're going to do it. Simple as that. So, no. Everyone is basically like Trauma Team, private corporation. Everything is a private corporation in Night City because Night City is a corporate city. You don't have, you know, government stuff in it, pretty much. You just have the, you know, the Night City government, but not the federal government. People will get dizzy because pirouette. Yeah, imagine pirouetting in first person. Like there is actually a mod for The Witcher 3 in first person, and it's okay, but there you could have seen like, nah, that's not it. Wasn't there a Nomad Corp that was okay? I don't know which one you're referring to. Like, look, majority of them are bad. Majority of them are bad. Dark Tide is cool in the first person. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, if you're gonna have Cyberpunk in first person, like The Witcher, I kind of just see The Witcher third person perspective and that's it. Maybe it's just me. What did they did the gunplay like in Deus Ex? Ah, that's what I was talking about. Maybe they do something with like that, but yeah, I don't know. I don't see like CDPR doing a mix of like first person and third person, like where you go behind a cover and the actual camera changes. I doubt they're gonna be going for that. I doubt. It's either going to be one or the second, or one and the second, but not a mix. Hey, why? I know Keanu is awesome. Do you think he has been miscasted for Silverhand? No, I don't think. Like, I think Keanu did a nice job with Silverhand. He was okay. I don't like. I know people see a problem with Silverhand and Keanu, but for me he's okay. Honestly, like I'm sure there could have been more different actors, but just having Keanu being somewhat Keanu is cool. And I mean, I've been listening to Keanu play Johnny Silverhand for 2 years now that I kind of just got used to it. Same like Henry Cavill with Netflix The Witcher. I pretty much got used to Henry Cavill playing Geralt of Rivia. What actually goes on the moon in Cyberpunk? You have a moon base in Cyberpunk. There is a moon base pretty much. Like you have relative space exploration in Cyberpunk. Relative space exploration, but they're not gonna be dwelling into that. And honestly, like there has been a lot of moments where Keanu really shined as Silverhand. There has been a lot of dialogue which I really enjoyed. There has been a lot of scenes where he was just simply killing it, honestly. I wish Tiger Claws had more prominent NPCs. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I wish there was more stories with the gangs in Cyberpunk, definitely. But in this case, like, V was a mercenary, so there is only so much you can do. But they could have done more through gangs, because most contact which you have through gangs is through well fixers, and they're just going to call you like Padre and Wakako, pretty much. He played a soulless, stoic anarchist pretty well. Yeah, I mean, what Keanu did with Silverhand is who Silverhand is. If you went from the lore, Silverhand is like that. It's simply who he is. He behaves like that, and one thing which I would obviously like is for Morgan Blackhand to appear, because having Morgan Blackhand would serve as such a nice, how would I say, contrast to Silverhand. But maybe in the expansion they give us Blackhand, maybe in the sequel to Cyberpunk they give us Blackhand, who knows. But I honestly do want to see Blackhand in the game, one way or another, because Blackhand is such a vital part of this universe. CDPR's video about approach ESG is getting ratioed into oblivion. Really, I have to check. I have to, like, I changed my my browser, so I have to install the return YouTube dislikes. Man, it's so bad that YouTube removed dislike. It's so bad. It sucks, honestly. Yeah, Mike didn't actually allow Blackhand to appear because Blackhand is his character, and Mike Pondsmith wants Blackhand to only appear when Mike Pondsmith thinks it's okay for him to appear. So maybe expansion, that ultimately that's going to be, believe it or not, up to Mike Pondsmith. LKM, are you a Legend of Zelda fan? I played Breath of the Wild and Ocarina of Time. I'm not someone who follows that too much. It's a cool game. Breath of the Wild is amazing, but I'm not too much into the whole lore and what's going on there. I don't know much about it. Mostly because it was always Nintendo, and I'm not really big into Nintendo in general. I mean, I started playing gaming on Nintendo, but right now I'm not too much into Switch and all of that. Jeffrey Dean Morgan for Blackhand. Yeah, it would be cool. Actually, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, like, yeah, his mannerism is kind of a Blackhand. I also imagine that guy who played in Deadpool 2. He was also in Sicario. What's his name? I forgot. I don't know. I'm under medication, guys. I'm gonna go soon anyway because I have to rest, but CD Projekt Group strategy update got 66k likes and only 224 dislikes. I believe that's for the strategy update, but there is another video. There is actually another video. Cyberpunk hotfix patch when? So there has been, oh, here comes the bot. Let me just hide it. There we go. This bot is everywhere, dude. So I don't know, like hotfix has been like the actual dev branch has been updated as well. So we'll see, maybe, I don't know. I think they're going to release that when they release the Ray Tracing Overdrive mode and DLSS 3, which is gonna be coming for the new GPUs. Jade Raymond, thank you so much for $2. Thank you for the great content, thank you for watching, and thank you for the support. Have I tried Kingdom Come Deliverance? Yes, I actually reviewed Kingdom Come Deliverance when it came out. It was a great title. I actually got back into it a few days back. What other games am I looking forward to the most? I'm looking forward to God of War, to be honest. I'm looking forward to Harry Potter game, somewhat, if it comes out and it's actually something they talked about. I have problems with how they're gonna handle pre-orders, like giving people 3 days early access if you pay, you know, more money. I don't like that, but I'll play that. Josh Brolin, yes. I would love if Morgan Blackhand was Josh Brolin. That would be cool. Yeah. I think Josh Brolin's physique and voice, I think it kind of fits Morgan Blackhand. There is also Callisto Protocol. Starfield is still relatively far away. Callisto Protocol, I might stream that as well. Canis Majoris must be Vesemir related, I have that feeling. If it is, that's great, because I've been asking for a Vesemir game for I think 5 years now. So if they finally give us the Vesemir game, I'm gonna be happy. Honestly, like I don't know what Warhorse is up to right now. Like after Kingdom Come Deliverance came out, they released those expansions, right? And that was about it. Yeah, he plays Thanos. Yeah. The voice was amazing. That's why I kind of want him as a Morgan Blackhand, but that's not up to me at all. I mean, Starfield is gonna be... I'm gonna play Starfield even though I don't expect anything huge. I mean, I expected your standard Bethesda game, but I still like Bethesda's games in general, I like their exploration, so I'll play it anyway. Yes, also that Hogwarts Legacy has an exclusive content for PlayStation. Yeah, it's also, that sucks. I hate those things. I hate those. I mean, those are marketing gimmicks and they have nothing to do with actual developers. That's decided by the management, obviously, because money, but it still sucks. What kind of mods would you like to see come to Cyberpunk 2077 that are not out there? So today there is a mod which came out which gives you random encounters throughout the city. I'm still yet to download that, but that's also something I wanted. When it comes to mods, I don't know if that's implemented, but I would love to have like more enemies throughout the map, because after you kind of finish Cyberpunk, and people who finished it and who cleared everything kind of know, like, you don't have too many enemies on the map anymore, like especially like Corpo Plaza, even like huge parts of like the city center and even Santo Domingo and like most districts in Cyberpunk besides Pacifica and maybe the Badlands, they're kind of empty when it comes to enemies. So I wish there were more enemies generally throughout the city. And also like flying cars was one of the mods which I wanted, and it came out and it's great. I'm waiting for Elder Scrolls 6. Yeah, that's like Elder Scrolls 6 is such a long time until that comes out. But yeah, Elder Scrolls definitely. It's been ages since Skyrim came out. I was in high school, or maybe I don't even think it was high school. Maybe it was elementary school when Skyrim came out. So that was a long time ago. Fuel Cap Gaming, quick question for the LastKnownMeal. Do you think exotics would be a good fit to include in 2077? I mean, exotics are a part of Cyberpunk, definitely. Exotics are something which I thought game is going to have, but no. And also exotics are interesting because exotics are expensive. And if you actually want like full overhaul of your body, that's usually very, very expensive. So it could be implemented, but maybe in the sequel, because I don't see them implementing that. But maybe through a mod, I would love to see exotics. But yes, definitely, like that's just a part of CP. Bethesda needs to get on that parallel AAA development as well. Yeah, but they also have like different studios as well. It's kind of a different with them, especially right now when they're under Microsoft. Do I play any multiplayer games? Yeah, I mean, the games that I play right now when it comes to multiplayer is basically like I play Smite, and I'm gonna play Overwatch a bit later if I get better. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know, like what else do I have? I play Smite, but I have like almost 1,000 hours in Smite. I started playing that as a joke, and here I am now playing that game a lot. I've been playing that for a very long time. But I don't like, I played multiplayer before, not so much these days. These days I'm more into single player. I just, you know, when I just want to chill, I load up Red Dead Redemption 2 and I just explore. It's so nice, it's so relaxing, honestly. Like hunting in Red Dead Redemption 2 is so much fun, honestly. It's so fun. I hope they give us at least one Witcher game with a full character creator. Maybe one of these, like, yeah, we have 3 Witcher games now, so I wonder if one of them is going to have character creation. What is the biggest thing you want to see changed or added into Cyberpunk or the sequel? For me, I'd like to see it be more balanced. If you get very fast. I mean, that's general problem with RPGs, you know. you do side missions and suddenly you're a god. I mean, that's kind of a problem with most open world RPGs. It's just difficult to, how do you maintain that? The more side activities you do, the more XP you get. That's just how it is. But what I would like to see is, well, more open world encounters. Just more open world stuff which fills the city, and more interaction between NPCs. Because let's face it, I mean, NPCs in Cyberpunk, they just walk around and they just look around and they walk around and they turn around. There's nothing special about it. I mean, they now carry weapons, which is nice when you when you point at them, but I would love to see more interactions on that part and more interactions with just open world segment of the game. Just have some stuff around the map to do, like immersive stuff. And for me, that's okay. Cyberpsychosis mod, people check it out. Is that a new mod? Is that just come out? I'll check it out, definitely. Thank you, Orbit, for mentioning that. If they actually have a cyberpsychosis mod, that's nice. I wonder how it works. Yeah, I mean, I'm not expecting too much from Overwatch 2. It's just something I play with my friends to chill. But I'm not someone who plays that. I'm generally like, I grew up on Counter-Strike 1.6. I grew up on that. I grew up on Modern Warfare. Those were the games I played, Team Fortress. But now it's just, I'm too tired of multiplayer, to be honest. Leave the RPG stuff to dialogue and interaction, but keep gameplay immersive and less about stats. That's also something which is good. NPCs in Cyberpunk interact with stuff if there's any. They interact, but they don't interact. They have few actions, but it's not interaction. I mean, it's difficult. Like, it's not something like, I like the system. Like, again, I don't like comparing games, but I really like the system from Red Dead Redemption 2, where it's not too much. Like, if you see an NPC, you can greet him or say, like, you can shoo him away and he can attack you. That's something which I think. I'm not expecting like NPCs to do crazy things, because that's impossible to do. Generally doing NPC AI is not an easy thing, and it requires a lot of programming, but just, you know, stuff. Stalker is actually in development right now. Stalker 2 is now in development. Obviously, with everything happening in Ukraine, they moved out and they restarted development. But yes, that game is in development, but I don't expect Stalker 2 to happen anytime soon. They said, what did they say, 2023, right? I doubt it's gonna be even 2023, man. We'll see. The older I get, the more I'm more into story RPG games, yeah, and books, definitely. More interaction, verticality, and RPG elements. I mean, yeah, generally you have verticality. I wish the big problem with Cyberpunk is that majority of locations get kind of locked out after you're done with them in a quest. So it's kind of, there's a lot of locations which you think you can enter, but you can't. That's something I would like for it to change, you know. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, when it comes like generally like Cyberpunk right now, if you increase crowd density, you're going to have a lot of NPCs walk around. Like, honestly, I had to put my crowd into medium because I had problems of having too many cars and too many NPCs. I also think that the actual population of the city in Cyberpunk is maybe CPU limited, so maybe that's also a case, but I had to lower it. There was actually too many NPCs and too many cars on the road, where I actually could not drive because I was actually standing too much. But there is definitely moments in Cyberpunk where, especially during the night, where the highway is kind of too empty. Like, you have places in Cyberpunk which are just too empty, you know, sometimes. And even if it's night, Night City shouldn't be that empty. It's not empty in all locations. Like, keep in mind, that's also a difference. If you are in an industrial zone in the middle of the night, you're gonna have less cars. If you are in this Corpo Plaza during the day, your FPS is gonna drop with the amount of people you actually have there. So that's that difference. But sometimes you're just gonna walk around somewhere and you think maybe there's people here, but there is not, and there's definitely pockets of the city where it feels kind of lonely in a sense. Phantom Liberty is confirmed to add more locations. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it wouldn't be a good expansion if it hadn't. Some of the developers of Stalker, yeah, I've seen that video actually. They have a few of them on, yeah. That's sad, which is happening with that, honestly. Like, hopefully it gets solved, hopefully. But I don't think it's gonna be solved anytime soon. Any new questions? Even GTA 5 had less AI walking around. Yeah, even in GTA 5, depending on where you are, you know, you're gonna have less AI around places. Honestly, one of the problems I have with GTA is like everything in the middle, and I know, like, I know GTA 5 map like with my eyes closed just because I RP in GTA. Like huge parts of like outside of the city are kind of empty. So every single open world game has to go through that, because filling an entire world with every single corner of you being able to do something, that's difficult, and you need like 5,000 developers to be able to release that. Just look at Red Dead Redemption 2, how much time that game took to be made, even Cyberpunk. Yeah, the expansion is not just the combat zone of Pacifica. I'm sure they're going to utilize the, I think, Biotechnica flats or something as well. Maybe they're going to utilize the lower part of the map next to the border as well. That's also kind of empty, maybe. We'll see. Is Witcher 3 still worth playing? Oh yeah, especially now. I would just wait for the next gen upgrade and then I would go and play it, definitely. Oh yeah, yeah, Red Tango, like basically like the Corpo Plaza is now filled with people if it's on high population. That's why I had to lower density to medium. So, okay, we've been live for almost 2 hours now, and it's actually, I've been live more than I thought. So I'm gonna be live a lot more now. Next live I'm gonna be playing Cyberpunk 2077. We're gonna go test out the game first, and then we're going to start a playthrough. I'm gonna be doing a live playthrough of Cyberpunk and also with a video. So tomorrow I should release another video if I feel better. I'm not going to promise anything, but I'll try my best. And right now the only thing which I do want is go and rest, because I'm getting too tired. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for being a part of the stream. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for donations. And thank you for all of the recent support on the channel. It's been amazing. Channel has been growing and doing... I think this month was one of the best months on YouTube that I had, so thank you so much for that, and it's honestly been a lot of fun to talk about all of these things. Right now I'm gonna be leaving you, and this stream is gonna go live probably in like 10-15 minutes, so yeah, thank you again everyone for coming, and I'll see you soon. And also one more thing which I do want to announce, I am gonna be doing a Cyberpunk build videos. There's actually a build video which I'm in the process of making, but when it comes to build videos, they kind of take a long time because you have to plan out that build, you have to test it, see if it works. So I'm gonna be releasing a build video relatively soon. And also Witcher 3 lore is almost ready. Like, I wanted to release a Witcher 3 lore video 2 days ago, but I obviously got sick, so I couldn't finish it. So the lore video is gonna be starting soon, and Witcher lore is going to be a series of videos which is going to cover a lot of things from The Witcher, and also we're gonna make lore videos about Cyberpunk 2077. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to play one ad for the end, because I don't play ads during the stream, so one more time until the end. And yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Thank you for coming. Don't forget to check us out on Twitter and Discord, and down in the description you have all of the sources basically for what I talked about today, including the presentation and the transcript of the call itself. See ya next time. Bye bye.